What's up, poker players? Hope you guys are out there pulling in massive pot after massive pot. Check out that leaderboard. Moving on up to 21. Had another final table bubble. So close. Making some deep runs in these tournaments, but not making the final table. It's been disappointing so far, but I keep moving up in the leaderboard results. Let's take a look at some of the tourney highlights from last night. First hand we're looking at is in a $4.40 MOSS number 47, 2,000 guaranteed event. We have pocket kings in the hijack seat. We have a limp from under the gun and a call from under the gun +1. We are going to put in a good sized bet here. People play pretty loose in these tournaments because there are rebuys. So a lot of players are going to be calling and just trying to double up their stack quick at the beginning of these tournaments. So it's a good plan to sit back, relax, play your good hands, and wait for people to try to double you up. If you play an aggressive game though, you can build a really big stack going into the end of the tournament and set you up for a late run in the tournament. Hopefully make a final table. Still waiting on mine. So we get a call from under the gun +1. There's 5,600 in the pot. We only have 23 left. This player only has 14 and change left as well. Put this player in pretty easily. They have king 5 suited, I believe, and we double up right there. Next time we're looking at is at the 6 max knockout PLO tournament. It's a $7.70 buy-in, event number 28. We have a good starting hand here with the double suited in position, trying to get the table finder up, but I'm in the middle of a hand, so I'll figure out wait until after this hand. We have a good flop. We flop top pair, and we have a flush draw, as well as the nut straight draw if a 10 were to hit, and this player jams all in. I think this is a pretty easy call with the flush draw top pair and a 10 for the nut straight, and he shows a pair of 8s with a flush draw and winds up hitting trip 8s on the river. We had his flush draw covered. He did not have many outs there, and he winds up hitting his 8 and taking us out of that tournament. That was ridiculous. This one is actually a 6-cent buy-in. Yep. 6 cent, $50 guaranteed rebuy and add-on. Number 26 in the series. We have a pretty good stack here. Getting down there. We are in the money. Trying to put a steal on. And the small blind folds to the joint we go. Makes a call. There's now about 18,000 in the pot. We are almost committed here. But we do have a straight draw and backdoor flush draws. I put in a small bet. I see this player has a high bet percentage. High fold to flop bet percentage. And he does not fold. The turn is a 2. We just check back, and the river's a queen. The flush got there, but we do hit our straight. It's the low straight. A king beats us, and he fires out for 1/3 at the river. And we're in a decision right here. I am going to make this call, but I'm definitely thinking about it. I don't want to give money to a flush or a higher straight, and he wound up bluffing there. He did hit the queen at the river, but it was maybe thrown in a little bit of a blocker bet there, and we pick up that pot. Now we're over to the $4.40 number 27 event. We have pocket 6s. We were about to get blinded out, so I jam with the pocket 6s, and we get a call from the hijack seat, Buddha Fist, and he has ace 5 suited. This is what I'm talking about in these tourneys. People just try to double up with any 2 cards. It's crazy. And we knock him out of the tournament and double our stack right there. Same tournament for the next hand. We have pocket 6s again. Blinds and antes are at 17.25. We now have a bigger stack, and we have a little bit more wiggle room. We have about 10 revolutions around the table right now. I make it 15-15 to go. The cutoff makes a fold. Mungfish is one of those players that I've seen up on the leaderboard. He's a pretty good player. Plays a tight, aggressive game. Does well in the tournaments. I think he is right above me on the leaderboard if I can remember correctly. He makes a fold, and now it is on the small blind who makes a call for his whole stack. And the big blind folds. We hit a 6 on the flop and a 6 on the river for the 4 of a kind 6s. Knock another player out. We now have about 20,000 in our stack. Same tournament. We have pocket jacks this time. We get a jam from the cutoff. Middle position player just limps in. I put in a small raise here to try to isolate, and we get a call from the big blind as well, who shows pocket 6s. We have king queen from the cutoff player. Queen hits on the turn, and we lose to king queen. That one hurt our stack a little bit. That would have been big time, but we didn't win it. Same tournament, same player. This time he raises to 1756. We have pocket queens on the button. I am going to be 3-betting here. Still messing with the table finder. You can see that the stats are not lined up with the players on the table, and this has been happening to me a lot with the Hold'em manager in the tournaments. Not exactly sure why, but if I use the table finder, it does correct itself, and you can see I can see the stats now. This player is a crazy aggressive player. Doesn't fold much to 3 bets. I make it 3,100, a little bit smaller than 2 times his bet. I think I probably should have made it a little bit bigger. I think maybe I was pressured with the time and setting up the stats on him. But he's hitting the time bank right now, thinking about this one hard. And he winds up making the fold. Maybe my bet sizing was perfect. I think it worked out well. Now we're at the $2.20 event number 29, 3,000 guaranteed. We have ace 3 in the big blind. Folds around to us. We're going to put in a steal here. Blinds and antes are up to 600. I make it 565 to go. Small blind makes a fold. Rice roller makes a call. Flop is 5 high. 2 5s on the board. 2 diamonds on the board. There's 1480 in the pot. I put in a half pot size bet right there. We have a gut shot and the ace for an over and backdoor flush draws. He winds up making a fold and we pick up that pot. Now we have pocket 8s. This is in the number 26 event, the 6-cent event. We're down to 25 players and we got to start making some moves here. We're about to get blinded out. Blinds and A's are at 1425. We have about 4 revolutions around the table right here. And I just jam all in. It's folding around. I'm starting to see a lot of familiar names in these tournaments and the top of the leaderboard. I'm going to have to start marking some of these players off with the notes. But folds all the way around with that hand, and we wind up picking up 1 more revolution around the table with that one. Same tournament. Now we have pocket deuces. Folds to us on the button. We have about 4 revolutions still, and I think this is a great spot to be jamming with the deuces and try to get a steal here, which is what I do. Small blind folds. To the joint we go. It's on him. He's thinking about it. This is a little bit of a looser player, and he does make the call. He's got ace 8. He winds up missing, and we double up right there with the deuces. That one helped out a lot. Back over to the event 29. We now have pocket jacks in the cutoff. Under the gun, min raises, and under the gun +1 jams all in for his whole stack. It's 1648. Our stack is pretty small here. We have 3381. We are going to be getting it all in. Looks like we're going to be in a 3-way, at least a 3-way pot here. Folds to the under the gun player. He is thinking about it and does make a fold. Goes back to the middle position or under the gun +2 player. He makes a call. He's got king jack suited. We wind up hitting a jack on the flop, but the under the gun +1 player hits a river straight with his ace. Ouch. Over to the event 28 PLO 6-max knockout. We have pocket 5s, 3 clubs in our hand. Not that great of a starting hand, but we do see a flop and wind up flopping bottom set. I come out and bet 2/3 of the pot to get it going, and we get 2 calls. King on the turn doesn't really help out anything. We still have a set. I'm going to bet pretty big here. I bet the pot. That should get our point across that we do have a strong hand. And we get a call from Cool Tool 1. Just getting it all in on the river here, trying to get value from the hands that we're calling. And he wound up having a straight draw. He had bottom 2 pair on the flop and on the turn, which he called. He also had a straight draw. Hits his straight draw on the river and winds up taking that pot. That one hurt us. Sticking around on this table, we have Queen 9-6-5 on the button. Double suited, diamonds and clubs. Putting in a steal raise here. Might have been steaming a little bit from that last pot. We get a call from both players. This time we wind up flopping an up and down straight draw as well as a flush draw. This is a great spot to be betting in and trying to pick this pot up right now. But if it does see a turn or river, we do have a lot of outs, which is what you always want to be drawing to. We have a nut straight draw. The flush draw isn't the nuts, but we still do have a decent draw with the nuts. He jams all in. I think I was definitely steaming. The way I see it, I didn't even hesitate. My chips were getting all in right away. And I see that we are up against a flush draw that we have beat, and he's got bottom pair. But he also does have an up and down straight draw. Ours is a little bit better, and he doubles us up right there. Thank you for that one. That was some big aggression right there from both of us. Now we're at the PLO high-low 5,000 guaranteed number 25 event. I went pretty deep in this one. You can see blinds and antes are up to 6 6,000. We have about 50,000 in our stack, about 9 revolutions right now. We have a min raise from under the gun, and pocket aces are going to be good in any game that you're playing, whether it's PLO or Hold'em. I know that they're good, and ace deuce is the best low hand to start with. We have suits to the hearts, so I'm jamming here. I'm getting it all in. I bet the pot. We get one call from the big blind, and the under the gun player jams all in as well. We are going to be at least 3-way all in here. This is crazy, but I do like our odds here with the pocket aces and the ace deuce, and we are up against another ace deuce, but he's got pocket deuces, and queen jack 4-5. We've got his heart suit covered. Under the gun winds up hitting his deuce on the turn for 3 of a kind. That fucker. That was the last 2 in the deck, and he hit it. Takes us out of that tournament in 50th place. We did knock out 5 players, though, for $10. Ouch. Man, we are just getting rocked. Now we have ace-9 suited in the big blind. Spades, we have an under the gun min raise. This is the $11 number 42 event satellite. So this is the Sunday main event for the bracelet event for the mini online super series. It's a $50 buy-in. I really shouldn't be playing that one with my bankroll. I still might on Sunday. We'll see. We get a call from the button, and I just make a call here in the big blind as well. It's pretty cheap flop. We wind up flopping the nut flush draw. Under the gun bets 1,500. We're getting great odds here to call with the flush draw, as well as a draw to the ace most likely. And we wind up hitting it on the turn. We do have the nuts. We are both pot committed in this pot. I bet pretty small here, 4,800. I bet about 2/3 pot into this player on the turn, and he is thinking about it. I could have gone for the check call, but I think this player probably would have checked back with the flush hitting, and we do know that he is committed. He does jam all in. I get it all in with the nuts. He doesn't have any outs going into the river, and we wind up taking him out of the tournament and increasing our stack size dramatically. This time we're at the PLO high, the 6 max knockout, 1,000 guaranteed. We have pocket aces again. This time those low cards don't matter. We have the heart draw again though, and I know pocket aces are good in any game, so I'm getting it all in. I'm playing them like I have aces. Make it 67-32, which is the pot to go. No one folds. We have a straight draw to the 4 or a straight draw to the 5 on the flop. Both of those cards we have in our hand. Or a 6 or an ace gives us the straight as well. And we still have the aces, and we're beyond pot committed here, so I'm jamming all in. We get one call. We're up against a set of 10s, and he hits his boat on the turn. Everyone is hitting their sets against our aces. What are you going to do? Maybe play this ace's hand and actually win it. That's what we're gonna do. Get that table finder up. Get those stats. Come on. Did I get them? I think I did. Jamming with the aces. We get a raise from the cutoff to 12.45. I jam. He makes a call. He's got ace deuce suited. Didn't have any outs going into the river, and we wind up doubling up right there with the aces. Finally. It was on the Texas Hold'em hand that time though. Lot less cards to worry about in that game. Now we're at the number 26 event. We are down to 11 players. My stack, you can see, is getting pretty low. Blinds and antes are up to 31,000, and I am getting blinded out currently. I have ace 8 though. This is going to be a good hand to get it in with. Hopefully one of these players jams into me with an ace blank lower than mine. That would be perfect scenario. And we get a raise from the button. Min raise, I get it all in, get a little bit of fold equity there, and he winds up calling with king jack suited. We hit an ace and an 8 on the flop. He had an out to a queen going into the river, misses it, and we double up right there. Still at 11 players in this tournament. We now have pocket 6s. Under the gun makes a min raise. Blinds and antes are up to about 30,000. We have about 4 revolutions around the table right now. Not after these blinds though. Pocket 6s are a great one to get it in with. It still gives a lot of full equity to this player. He has to put in 1,000 chips to call here, and if he doesn't have that great of a hand, he will have to get rid of it, and he does, and we pick up that pot. Slowly building a stack in this tournament. We're now up to 2 1/4 couple hands later. I think I probably had a steal or 2 in there. Blinds and antes are still at 31.5. Folds to us in the hijack seat. We have Queen Jack diamonds. Good hand to put in a steal with. And it folds around to the big blind. Big blind makes a call. Flop is king high, two-tone, two spades. We do have the backdoor flush draw, and we have a draw to the 10 for the nuts. I'm putting a continuation bet in right here, and hopefully we can just pick it up right here, but if not, we do have a lot of outs. I make it 33, 125. Still leaves us enough wiggle room in our stack to get away from this one, and looks like that is what we might have to do with this jam right here. He does go all in, puts us in a tough spot for our whole stack with nothing but a draw. We might not even have outs to the queen or the jack here, so I think I might have to get rid of this one. And I do make the fold. That was unfortunate. That one would have helped out a lot. Now we're at the number 27 event again. This one's getting down there as well. We're at 62 players. Our chip stack is a little bit larger than 3 revolutions right now. We're about 4 revolutions around the table, but we have ace king in the big blind. Looks like we're going to be getting it all in here, and hopefully we can double up or at least add to our chip stack. We get a raise from the cutoff, and I jam all in, and we're up against 10s. We wind up missing our aces and our kings, and we get knocked out of that tournament in 62nd place. A lot of deep runs, no final tables. This is a crazy event. It was the $400 Hyper Turbo number 30 event. So each player started with a stack, I think, of 600 chips, and the rounds were like 3 minutes. It went up crazy quick. And I have pocket deuces right now. I have less than 3 revolutions. I'm in the hijack seat. I'm jamming all in here. I don't even have the stats up right now because it doesn't really matter. This tournament goes so quick, and you just got to play aggressive and play on top of your game and try to pick up as many pots as possible. These small blind calls are all in, and we're up against ace queen suited with the deuces. We hit a deuce on the flop and double up in that tournament. Back to the number 26 event. We have king 6 offsuit. We're at the final table bubble. Blinds and antes are at 40. We have less than 3 revolutions, a little larger than 2 revolutions, and we're jamming here on the button. We got to be putting moves on the button and trying to pick up stacks here. King high isn't that great of a hand, but it is a good hand to be jamming with only 2 players to our left. Your nightmare has a pretty small stack as well, but we wind up getting called by Thrash 370 with ace deuce, and he hits 3 deuces, takes us out of the tournament in 10th place. That was another final table bubble in the MOSS series. That's 2 now, but that definitely helps out the leaderboard, and that's why I've moved up quite a bit in the last couple days. Now we're at the number 29 event. We have ace king suited. We have about 4 revolutions around the table right now. Never mind, it's not suited. Ace king offsuit, but we're still jamming. Suit doesn't matter. And we get called by the player to our left. These stats don't match up. I probably didn't switch it after I switched tables or something. And we also get called by the big blind. We're in a great spot to triple up, but we are up against 2 players now, and we need an ace or a king here, and nothing hits unless we have an ace high. I don't think we're taking this one down. Yeah, we wind up losing the 6s and get knocked out of that tournament, and we have ace 7 now in this hyper turbo. This thing was nuts. I cannot believe how quickly it went up. So blinds and antes are now up to 575. We barely have a revolution around the table. We are about to get blinded out, so I have to make a move here with the ace 7 suited. It folds to us. I'm jamming. Folds all the way around to the blinds. The small blind winds up making a call. We're up against ace 10. He hits a 10 on the flop. We have a flush draw going into the river, and we miss it and get knocked out of that tournament as well. Took 70th place in that tournament. Ouch. If you guys want to get in this tournament series going on, it is being played at America's Card Room. The link is in the video description. If you use promo code DKPoker, you will get a $1,000 match bonus as well as 50 tournament bucks, which you can use towards these tournaments, or just for your Sunday buy-in. That's $50 for the bracelet event. It's 150 guaranteed on Sunday. This is going to be a great tournament. Head down to the video description for links to all the poker products that I use, as well as my social media. Hit that subscribe button if you guys have not done that yet. I've got daily videos coming out. Track my progress on the 100K challenge, as well as in these tournament series. I'm playing these tournaments every day until they get too expensive and my bankroll can't afford it, because as this series goes on, the tournaments get incrementally higher. Buy-ins. Give the video a thumbs up if you like it. If you have any comments or questions, leave those in the comment section below. And I'll be back tomorrow with a brand new video. But until then, come and find me out on the virtual felt.